What's up, guys? So, I've got something new, and I'm pretty excited about it. In 2017, I decided to read a book a week because each year I pick a new word, or I guess I should say each year I have a word. I have a word I focus on the entire year. So, for example, my first year it was compassion, second year persistence, third year, which is this my third year doing it, my word is students. And each year I put action steps behind those words to hold me accountable to really strengthen that area of my life. Sometimes it's areas I do need to strengthen, sometimes it's just words I feel in my gut that it needs to be that word. So with persistence has always been a really strong area in my life. I just felt I needed to pick it, and I picked it, and it came in handy because 2016 was a very persistent kind of year. So I'm gonna give you guys a book review each week of the book I'm reading to hold me accountable and hopefully provide some value to you guys. I was not much of a reader before this. I want to preface with that. I've read maybe 2 to 3 books in my lifetime. I mean, I'm sure in school we went through history books and stuff like that, but I never sat down cover to cover would read books. Really, the time I read those 2 to 3 books, I think it was in summer school when my mom punished me one time. So reading these is definitely a discipline of mine. What I've done to ensure that happens is like this book, it had, I believe, let me double check, I don't want to tell you wrong. It had 12 chapters, and each chapter was a good, 20, some were 30 pages, and close to 30. So what I did was I said, okay, well, it has 11 chapters. I'm reading it in a week, so each day I need to read essentially 2 chapters. So that's what I did. I get up at 6 a.m., read for the first hour of my day, and then Sunday I spent a little extra time reading to catch up and finish my book for the week. But this book was called Die Empty by a guy named Todd Henry. And it was really good for me where I'm at in my life. It gives really solid, I call it nuggets, like diamond nuggets and golden nuggets. And golden nuggets are like, man, that was good, right? But diamond nuggets are like, that's a game changer. It's a game-changing piece of advice right there. And it has advice like that all throughout this book. I highlighted this book all up, and I've never done that, obviously, because I had never read much until now. But I put highlight, this book is all highlighted up. And I really I'm just going to give you guys a couple of the parts I highlighted. One says people try to solve internal problems with external solutions. And that's huge. It's like I think the most common one would be when people say, I want to move to a different city, I want to move because it will solve my problems. Now, I agree that if you're not happy where you're living, you move to a place that makes you happy, that fills you up, you're excited to be there, stuff like that, good choice. But if you're trying to solve an internal problem with an external solution, so maybe you're depressed, maybe you're viewing life from a negative lens, or something along those lines, and you're thinking by moving it will change all of that, then typically that's not going to be successful, right? If there's something within you that needs to be solved, it's not going to be solved through an external solution. Let's see. When you stop growing, you start dying. So it's essentially saying if you're not consistently pushing yourself and you kind of get caught up in the hamster wheel of life, and I'm sure we've all been there. I know I've been there where when I was active duty military, I'd go to work, get to work at a certain time, wear the same outfit, shave my face, show up a certain way. I can tell it's lower now. The AC went off. Read these step-by-step guides, do this, go home, come back, do it again, right? So it's kind of like in a hamster wheel. You're in a routine, but you're doing the same thing over and over again. You're not experiencing anything new. You're not learning anything new. You're not growing. So essentially, you're dying. And I believe that's a lot of times when people start to become sad and become down. And I'm not saying if you're depressed, it's because you're not growing. So don't take that wrong. But what I am saying is when people stop growing, and a certain level of contentment settles into their life, they start becoming less satisfied, if that makes sense. But it's a really great book, guys. Really dives into growing, dives into becoming better, dives into how to become more efficient and how to solve common problems that you run into in life. And then it goes into action steps. And I love action steps. I love reading a book and it kind of telling me, okay, here are the action steps. Sometimes when you read, you've got to kind of dig out and kind of create what it is that you're looking for. And in this one, man, it's pretty clear cut to the point. And then the last couple, I'd say last 3 chapters in the book are pretty much giving you scenarios and then questions to ask yourself to prevent or to fix or whatever, or to kind of just put you right on track. And a lot of it dives into personal, talking about ego and yourself. And then some of it goes into, just problem solving and other things. It's a really great book. I love it. I think anybody can benefit from it if you have a 9-to-5 job, or if you're an entrepreneur, or maybe you have a passion you're trying to pursue. It's an awesome book, awesome read, and I definitely would recommend it to anyone. The next book that I'm going to read, I started today, and I'm already 50 pages in, which is good for me. I'm proud of that. It's called Fat Dad, Fat Kid. And what it's about is a guy and his journey with his son to become healthier. And the reason I picked this book up is I read the first couple chapters, and I picked it up because I wanted to be on the inside of his head, because that's what I do primarily. I coach people on nutrition programs and help them lose weight and help them change their life, starting with their nutrition and exercise, because health is the number one pillar in life. Health is what is most important. Health comes first. Health, if you don't have health, what do you have, right? So that is my passion. And I wanted to be inside his head, and that's essentially what he does. He journals throughout this process, and his son journals too. And you're kind of reading excerpts of that. And I found it really interesting. I believe it's going to help me become more knowledgeable, more compassionate, more empathetic, more understanding, and in all of that, provide me the tools to give people the best quality support I can possibly give them, which is my goal. So that's ultimately why I picked it up. And he has an awesome YouTube channel. And look, I'm uploading a YouTube video right now for you guys. So it just seemed to be really in alignment. So honestly, that's how I pick my books. I go through the bookstore, and I have a ton of books I need to read. I get to read. But I go through the bookstore, and whatever feels right, whatever looks like I'm going to enjoy reading, because that's my biggest thing. I want to enjoy it. I want to have fun. So I'm reading a book a week, and I'm reading a biography a month, right? So in the mornings I get up and I read an hour of my book that I'm reading for the week, and at night I'll read an hour or until I fall asleep. Sometimes it's 10 minutes. Last night it was quick. I'll read the biography. So I'm reading Total Recall, I believe it's called. It's about Arnold Schwarzenegger. I love Arnold. When I started lifting, just like any other gym guy, when you first start lifting, Arnold's like the man. And and I've always been interested to learn more about him. He's accomplished a ton in life. So probably at the end of the month, hopefully, because I started the autobiography a couple weeks in, and it's huge. It's intimidating for me to read because it's so big, but I'm going to get through it piece by piece, small victories at the time. So then at the end, I'll be able to give a review on that as well. And when I say review, I'm not saying I'm going to be downing books and say this is bad, this is good. I believe everything is relative in life. So I'm just going to share how it related to me, how the books impacted me. Hopefully it inspires you guys to maybe pick up one of them, read them, and it impacts you. That's my whole intention with this, and to hold me accountable, obviously, because if I'm accountable to you, excuse me, my voice went out. If I'm accountable to you guys, and I know you're watching, and we're providing nuggets back and forth, or you're telling me what books you love, and I'm providing these books to you guys, or whatever, it holds me more accountable, because people are more likely to do things for others than they'll do for themselves. That's a big part of life that's really interesting, But that's a whole different conversation. I'll give you guys a review on this. I will look forward to reading your comments. If you like this idea, if you're interested in it, like, comment, communicate with me. I'll communicate back with you. We'll have a good time. All right. Love you guys. Y'all have a fantastic week. We'll talk to you soon.